Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and this one is so great. It's with Daniel Castillo from Heritage Craft BBQ, and we're talking about their new place, which is going to open at the end of this year in Oceanside, California, called Heritage Craft Beer and Barbecue. I had heard inklings about this second location, and now that it's public, I wanted to do an interview with him and chat with him all about it. It's a completely new concept. It's not going to be like the San Juan Capistrano location. It is first and foremost a brewery. And at any given time, they plan on having 10 to 14 beers that they make there on tap, which is just awesome. And then they'll have some guest taps. And then the menu isn't going to be a Central Texas style menu. It's going to be tacos and sandwiches and plated entrees, and it's going to be creative. It's going to highlight their creativity. There are going to be barbecue proteins in the dishes. However, they're going to have a completely vegan menu, which is just insane and killer. It's not going to be the same menu that's in San Juan Capistrano. And so at the end, if you're watching this on the YouTube side, at the end he gives a complete tour of the interior, exterior, where the tanks are, where the speakeasy, there's a little speakeasy. There's a lot of little things I don't want to tell you because it's fun to hear from Danny. But it's gonna be a really killer location, and it's gonna be open 7 days a week. And they're talking about 11 a.m. to roughly 11 p.m. So that's 7 days a week. And then once things are up and going with the brewery and restaurant, they're going to expand hours, go longer in San Juan Capistrano, and potentially then eventually expand to 7 days a week there. So there's a lot of new things. And then in October, there's going to be a remodel of the San Juan Capistrano. It'll stay open, but there's a remodel. He discusses all that. He discusses so much and shows us a lot, and it's just I can't be happier for him and Brenda. I think this is an exciting chapter in their lives. They've moved to Oceanside, so they're closer to this location, and I think that South Oceanside, which is where it's located, is really going to have a gem of a restaurant. And there's other things that are opening up around the same time in that same area, so it's going to be a cool little pocket there in Oceanside. So be sure to follow them on their social media. I'll put all their information below so you keep up to date and keep it on your radar. Make sure you have the end of the year plan. It could be sometime in December, but chances are by the end of the year there will be a second location for Heritage. Can't thank Daniel enough for taking the time. He has a lot going on. I have a website at kevinsbbqjoints.com. I'm at Kevin's BBQ Joints on all the social media. At the end, stay safe and visit your local barbecue joint. Good morning, Danny. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing good, man. Beautiful day.
It's
Nice overcast day here in North San Diego.
uh, I would kill for an overcast day. It's so that's the weather. Like I mentioned off camera, I went to school in San Diego. The weather changes
Yeah.
dramatically. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
it's weird. When you think summertime, you think it's gonna be super sunny, but as soon as you pass like San Clemente, the weather completely changes. In San Juan, it's got like this kind of a desert beach climate.
Hmm.
So you can be at the restaurant and it's like super hot, you're sweating like hell. And then you cross over San Clemente, like coming back this way, and it becomes really gloomy, overcast, and sometimes even sprinkling, and you get that onshore flow. But yeah, it's a strange thing to see. It'll stay pretty overcast till about maybe 2 or 3, and then it burns off and
Yeah,
it's super beautiful. And then it's that way till maybe 7, 8 o'clock, and then it starts coming back again.
yeah. And then you can wear jeans at night, or you could it's like
Yeah,
maybe a sweatshirt. It's interesting too. I remember you're just popping in memories in my head. I remember driving because I lived in Los Angeles, outside of Los Angeles, and San Diego is where I went to school. There'd be foggy times where
yeah,
by Camp Pendleton, that area where
yeah,
it would fog over. That was
yeah. Really foggy.
crazy.
Sometimes in the early in the morning, driving in the restaurant, I'm like, shit, man. They got to fucking. Well, I might have to pull over somewhere.
Yeah, and then like your brain's going like, do I put on which lights do I do for the fog? Like you're like, I remember taking it for the test,
Yeah,
but I don't
so
know.
all those buttons that we never use.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's cool. It's great to connect again. We haven't seen each other in person in a long time, and been taking care of my mom, and you've been
Yeah,
extremely busy. So
yeah.
you just had a 2 year anniversary for San Juan Capistrano. Can you describe that location for people, and also what it means to you and what the 2 year anniversary? It's a big deal. Like, because or in the early
Yeah,
days, I was meeting you at breweries and pop-ups and
yeah.
stuff.
It's cool, man. San Juan was a very sleepy town when we first moved in, and that's a long story in itself. But I think it took a little bit of time for the community to kind of, open their arms to us because, we were outsiders for one. And all of us at the restaurant, besides one of our pit guys, Chris Granado, are not from San Juan.
Ah,
So, we bring obviously a level of diversity to South Orange County too. So, there's these guys that just moved into our sleepy little city and are causing all this ruckus, you
yeah,
know.
lines of
And
people.
yeah, yeah, and Orange County is a funny place because lines and like you can go to any day in Los Angeles and there's a line for some sort of pop up or some sort of
Yeah, could be
event going
bagels
on.
or
Yeah, whatever it is. I mean, it's pretty normal. So, in Orange County, even with the eater stuff and in LA Times and like they never really looked this way. Besides, maybe like Taco Maria or something like that. They're just there was nothing really exciting going on here as far as in the food scene. That's why when we kind of broke out and started doing our thing, we started making these waves and getting a lot of attention from not just our local media but outside from LA to San Diego, which it's kind of odd. We're on the borderline in San Juan. We're on the borderline of San Diego and Orange County, yet we get write-ups in Los Angeles Times
yeah,
and Eater LA, which is very strange. But
because
we're
you're like kind of
just
like a no man's landish between those two. It's yeah,
yeah. South Orange County has always been kind of known for overpriced, mediocre food with
Mhm.
incredible ambiances,
Yeah, you're paying for the
if
view.
that's a word.
Yeah, no, if it isn't a word, it makes complete sense. And
Yeah.
and how long? I'm trying to remember how long did it take to open the restaurant?
Well, we opened, we signed our lease uh, a year before the pandemic hit, and then it hit, and then everything completely stopped. And then Brenda and I had to figure out if this is something we even wanted to go through with, which you were asking about the anniversary and what it means to me. It means a lot because I think for somebody to open up a restaurant in the worst part of the pandemic
Yeah,
and making it 2 years into it, because we're still in it. Um, it's something that I know that if I didn't have to, if the pandemic didn't happen, like you know, what would Heritage be?
yeah,
We fought so hard to make it through that. Like it's a life lesson that I think now moving forward, just it resonates with everything we do, because it's
that,
kind of like it's kind of like what the fuck could be worse than this,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And then if you can make it through this, you can make it anything. Like it's
Yeah,
really yeah,
we took an approach. We kind of took a different approach. I know like LA was, they're really, people that opened up restaurants there or had restaurants there. When they shuttered, we in Orange County, like we're a lot more conservative down here. So people would travel, and I think that's what made Heritage survive during that time, is because all these restaurants were closed in Los Angeles, and they got in their cars and they took the trip down to Orange County, where they knew that the restaurants would be open, and they could spend the day or take the train or whatever it was. And so that's when we really started getting that LA audience, because they made that trek, packed the family up and then came down here. And our approach at the restaurant was that, hey, you know what, we're just going to let people decide what they're comfortable with.
hmm
So if they feel like wearing a mask, then that's perfectly fine. If they didn't, then that's perfectly fine too. I'm a big believer of just allowing people to believe in what they want to believe. So our girls that were at the front of the house, they always masked up. I mean, they were, that was their choice. And I never wore one while I was working, but most of the kitchen staff inside did. I was mostly outdoor, obviously working on the pits and stuff. But I think with going through all that, and making it through, and always keeping my staff too on their toes is like, you know, uh, man, we did collaborations during the pandemic. We did so many fun things, and it was kind of just to take our minds off the whole thing. But man, you know, we had a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
Well, and also at the beginning of the pandemic, I remember you were doing a lot of charity stuff or
Yeah.
giveaways to help people within the industry. That
Oh yeah. You know, I still to this day I could go. My wife and I went and celebrated our wedding anniversary at June and July here in Carlsbad, Chef Eric Boss. And when we sat down, we had some kitchen workers coming out from the back and saying, "Hey, you know, I remember what you guys did for
oh
us during the pandemic, and we appreciate it. You know, here's a glass of wine that I bought from me, and you
oh
know, and
that's
here,
nice.
yeah, they were doing that stuff, and it's crazy because that was taking place, you know, and we did one at Dana Point, we did one in Fullerton, you know, we did them all over the place, but yeah, it's crazy to see the reach of that and how many people and how far they came for that.
Yeah, and it feels like so long ago, but that wasn't
Yeah,
that long ago.
no,
It's
just a couple years ago. Yeah.
yeah. And what were those conversations like with you and Brenda at night, talking about the business and talking about things? Like there's a lot, and then you also had a child during that
Yeah,
time.
you know, yeah,
Great.
for us, I mean, for us, we were all in. We didn't really say, "Hey, are we going to do this or not?" Because you know we had everything invested. You know, we sold our home in Garden Grove, which you know, when we bought that home, it was a big thing for us. You know, and I was like, okay, well, this is where I'm probably going to die. You know, this is where my kids are going to be raised, and but that's not what you know the world had planned for us. And when this opportunity came up, and I didn't have any, you know, working capital, I had to come up with my own without trying to bring in. And believe me, the investors were there, but as soon as the pandemic hit, they were gone. No more.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That
no,
makes sense. It's sad. It's
nobody wanted to invest in restaurants, you know, when the pandemic hit. But so we sold our home, you know, we found a home in San Juan. We rented it for a year and a half, and we pulled our kids out of school and put them in a new school. You know, we were just all in, so we knew we had to make it work. And yeah, I mean, we just bought another home about now almost a year later. So you know, we worked our ass off because I promised my wife that you know I would buy her another home. So
and that's in Oceanside, right?
yeah, it's in Oceanside. Yeah, we live in this community called Fire Mountain, which
Okay.
is about a 5 minute drive from the new brewery.
Wow, that's just what a journey these last few years have been for it's for everybody, but for you, and especially too, because you have employees, you want to make sure that this all works. It seemed like people were lining up in droves, and I remember distinctly talking to you about Orange County and the lines and people not getting their head around that. Was that still difficult in San Juan Capistrano? Because I know people coming from LA or from Texas or from other places were used to that, but was there some pushback? Because we never talked
Yeah,
about that.
like I said, I mean the people in that came to the restaurant with the longest part of the lines. I mean, if you walk down it, they were people that weren't from here. They
Okay.
weren't locals in the. I would say the first year, it was people from everywhere. It took time for the community. I mean, because a lot of people that are down in the area have you know disposable income, and
Yeah.
so they're not used to you know. I mean, they're used to paying their way to get what they want. You
Yeah.
know,
Any kind
so
of table they want anywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And then when you came to Heritage, I mean, you could be, you know, a multimillionaire or billionaire, you know, standing next to somebody who, you know, saved up a year to come and eat there.
Hmm.
So if we treat everybody equally. So yeah, it took some time, but then slowly but surely we started, you know, seeing people coming in, you know, and the curbside thing was always a great option. Still something that we keep right now because it's another form of revenue. And you know, if we cut that off, you know, we cut off those customers that don't want to wait in the lines, or you know, usually that line of cars is usually like Range Rovers and BMWs and shit like that, you know. So
Well,
and
how
they
did so
come in,
explain how that works? Is that's online, right? You order
yeah.
online completely, and how early can you order throughout the day, or is that just
So yeah, it starts every morning, Wednesday through Sunday. It goes live at 10 a.m.
okay?
and then they can choose the time that they you know want to pick up or whatever. But you know, it's still like you know it's a great it's a great outlet for people who, just want to pick up some heritage and take it to a party. I mean, there's even people that have gotten so smart that they won't even call us or text us for a catering order. They'll just go on there, get what they want. And some days it'll print out and like, we're like, man, there's a $2,000 curbside order. Holy shit. And
And how do you get your head around that? Is that something that you just plan for, or
yeah, I mean, that means we're probably going to go home a little early that day.
That's crazy. And then right now you have what, 2,000-gallon Harper, right?
Yeah, so we have
I
two.
forget what they call it. Are they Harper Pitworks now, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, I know they're going to open their restaurant, so I think they're listed on Instagram as Harper Barbecue. But yeah, Harper Pitworks is the name for
Yeah.
their pit building company. And yeah, we have two 1,000 gallons. Those are stationary pits that are bolted down to the concrete. And then we have 2,000 gallons on a trailer, and those guys, and we never move them just because it's a beast, and
Yeah.
it's a pain in the ass to move around. But we have two on order with them, another 2,000 gallons, and then we have a M&M pit.
You're the one they mentioned. He said, like, he's like, yeah, it's a secret. He's like, everyone knows them, but
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, it's gotta be.
Well, there's a couple of us here on the West Coast that are getting them. I'll let them tell you.
Yeah,
But
no, I kind of have some guesses, but okay, cool.
okay. I mean, there's not very many, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's not hard. If you're listening to this or watching this, you could probably figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
But so
Yes.
you're getting the rotisserie?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And
that'll
then
be for that location or for the other location?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure out. Unfortunately, after I made this deal with Mike, I had already previously I had purchased a pit from an oiler from J&R, and so that guy's supposed to be delivered here like mid-September.
Okay.
And then I got that for the restaurant here. Heritage Oceanside is a completely different concept, so I didn't want to replicate, and I think it's some people, they're going to expect what we're doing over there to be done down here, but the vibes are different here.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking, I could see the ocean from here.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Like I mentioned, I was Googling it. Like, it looks like it's what, three blocks from the ocean?
Yeah, it's about 3 blocks.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say maybe 500 to 1,000 steps from here. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to text me, let me know exactly. So it's worth it.
I'll set my step meter and I'll let you know.
That's not far.
Yeah. So, it's not, the San Juan's got like this really cool, like early California vibe, obviously. It's a mission town, it's a Spanish town. Actually, Oceanside's a mission town as well too, but it's a beach town. And so, like, I'm a person that likes to feel, my surroundings, and this place just doesn't feel that way, so I didn't want to try to get offsets in here and go through all that craziness, because it is a lot of work to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
We love the, like, DG, the dirt on the ground over there at the other restaurant, the string lights, and it being 100% outdoors, and that vibe is like, it works for what we're doing there. Here, I mean, the majority of the seating is indoors. The patio is, you can maybe fit, I don't know, 50 people on the patio, but I mean, it's an ocean breeze that comes through the restaurant. To me, I get like a lot more laid back, relaxed kind of vibes here. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. And so what's the way it's going to work is, this is a brewery here, right? So this used to be a Mason Ale Works, and it shuttered during the pandemic. There was another concept. There's a long running thing that this building is cursed.
Isn't that like an Anthony Bourdain thing too, or like they talk about you don't open a restaurant in the place? Yeah.
Yeah. So and I just this morning when I went to get coffee, they're like, well, I hope you do it right, because the last people that were in there didn't do it right. And I get messages on Instagram from people saying, hey, I wish you all the best. We love you guys. Hopefully you guys can break the curse of that building. But you know, the location that we were at in San Juan, that was the same. It
Yeah.
was the same issue.
Every
It was the same
restaurant's like that.
issue.
Oh, not
Yeah,
every,
I
but
mean,
most.
yeah,
Someone
yeah.
has to do
So
it.
that kind of stuff like doesn't bother me. It does when enough people say it, and then it's in the back of my mind. But like, I know that we're gonna do it the right way, and we have to. This is a very blue collar town, like we were talking about, military, and working class. It's like pretty much the last beach town in San Diego where it's like that. Where people you can actually afford to live in.
Yeah.
So that
Because
being
it's
said,
just like for people's mind's eye, it's just south of Camp Pendleton, right? It's something
yeah,
kind of, yeah,
exactly, yeah.
on the way to
Camp
San Diego.
Pendleton, Camp Pendleton is like maybe a 10-minute drive,
Mhm.
15-minute drive from here because we're in South Oceanside. We're right on the border of Carlsbad here.
Okay.
We have to keep the prices decent, and we have to make it affordable for people to come here. Otherwise, we're just another restaurant from Encinitas or La Jolla or Del Mar that's moving into this area,
Yeah.
and making it, restaurants that people can't afford to eat at.
So you're being cognizant of that that there's a
Yeah,
certain clientele that's a local clientele because there'll be
yeah,
people like the other spot coming from all over, but there is
yeah,
going to be that local business that you need to cater to.
yeah. So Heritage Oceanside, first and foremost, we're marketing it as a brewery
Okay.
because it is, and it never was marketed that way in the right light. You know, I mean, there was nothing ever on this building. I mean, there's a brewery I could show you, right on the other side of this wall that there was never any sign on the outside of here that ever said there was a brewery here, which
That's
made no sense to me.
no sense.
No, so for us to make that happen where it is affordable and people can come here to eat, we're taking a different approach on this concept where it's heritage beer and barbecue, and we brew all the beer that's served here on site. It's made right here in Oceanside, and the food that comes that we're going to be doing here is sandwiches and tacos and plated entrees. The line thing is not going to be here anymore. We want people to come here, sit down, have a couple beers. When they feel like they want to order some food, then they can order some food. Yeah, we wanted that really laid back atmosphere for people to be able to do that.
So
And so it's a whole,
it'll be table service then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you'll walk up, you'll order your beer, you'll sit down. So they won't have like servers per se like that coming up and taking your order. When you want to order food, you get up and then you'll walk over and you'll order food.
The
Then you'll
food.
sit back, you'll get a number, you'll sit back down and they bring it out to you. And that's just going to help us cut down on labor, and still, not make it so that we have to have, a bunch of servers and a
Yeah.
bunch of people expoing and all this other stuff. So, and that a lot of restaurants have actually moved towards that now. So, just because it's so hard to get good people. And so, yeah, that's where it's going to be. Lots of I have a menu that I wrote that I mean, there's like 8 different taco options. Same thing with the sandwiches. We're gonna have like things like brisket nachos, and we'll have all kinds of fun, creative things. Like it was like if you took all of our specials at Heritage and then brought them here,
That's smart.
um, salads and even vegan. We're gonna have a vegan menu, which is super huge here. Most restaurants here in Oceanside have 2 menus. You know,
Interesting.
so yeah, so we're working and we've been playing around with stuff at the restaurant. Yeah, it's going to be different. So we're hoping that our people that are up in the Orange County area or Los Angeles find it interesting to where they want to come here because it's a different experience.
Hmm.
They're like, well, I know what Heritage does with barbecue. What are they doing with beer?
Hmm.
We brought in a brewer That's it's a real secret thing right now, and that's why I haven't shown his face or shared who he is, because he's still working for a very, very well known brewery,
Ah,
and he's helping us get this off the ground. As a matter of fact, he's brewing a beer right now, and he's got two in the fermenters, and he's willing to come in here and do this, and in his spare time, just to be able to get this place open, and then we can rock and roll, and we're not worried about all this crazy labor and all this stuff. So
so it's a functioning brewery right now, but like you're bringing it back to life. It was shuttered for a while, right?
yeah, so yeah, it's a 10 barrel system. And then we have 8 fermenters, and then we have 7 bright tanks. We have 26 taps, and so it looks like at any given time we will have like 10 to 14 beers on draft,
Okay.
that are heritage beers, and the rest will be guest taps. But we're only gonna carry the best of the best. All our friends that we did pop-ups with at
Yeah.
breweries, and we're also going to have a really great natural wine program.
Oh, cool.
And we also have a second bar here. So the way that it works is, it used to be a fully functioning bar. So I ripped all that stuff out, and that's going to be our beer and wine bar. And then we have a secret bar that's in the back, which people like to call speakeasies. And all the cocktails will be made there. The bartender that'll be making mixed drinks will be back there, and the server will come up and go back there and pick up the mixed drinks and then drop them off at tables. And it's not going to be a hey, give me 2 fingers of bourbon kind of. It's cocktails that complement the barbecue. So lots of bubbles, and lighter spirits, and things that with ice in them. And so so it's not going to be something where you can come and get like super wasted at the bar. So
Yeah, no, it's going to be things that complement the barbecue and that makes
yeah,
sense. Wow. So is that something that people will be able to, oh, is it a full wine, like a full liquor license? Is that what, or just,
it's called a Type 75. So it's a brewery. So we produce our own beer, and we can distribute our own beer, hard liquor, beer and wine.
wow. Well,
And
people,
it's a very strange license.
yeah, that is, it's very
Yeah,
unique. Is it unique to that area, or is that just because,
it's unique to this building.
uh,
Somewhere along the line, somebody pioneered it, and so now we can just transfer it, or in my case, I had to buy it, and just roll with it.
hey,
So
no, it's
we're
smart.
learning as we go too.
Yeah. Do you imagine that you'll be having beer to go? Like people will be like canning it and
Yeah,
things?
yeah. We're gonna do like a case where we'll have 4 packs, and we'll do crowlers to go. But
Yeah.
so the way that it will work is that the beer that we produce here will get shipped to SJC, and so and San Juan Capistrano is where we'll put our beers on draft there.
So smart. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Because you've been to Beechwood, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like that. That is always, I used to live like 4 blocks from the one downtown in Long Beach. And it was just it was a great location. It was really just to get beer, but then then you could order food as you went.
yeah.
But it was,
It's funny that you bring them up, because it's kind of like I see Heritage kind of moving in that direction, where it might at one time the barbecue might fall off, like where it did with Beechwood, because Beechwood used to be Beechwood uh, barbecue and brewing, and then it went from Beechwood brewing and barbecue, and now it's just Beechwood.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So I could see in the next, maybe next location that we open, we'll probably end up going that route, because even when you see this, we've changed the name on the building to Heritage Brand. So it's like Heritage Brand. You'll start seeing that with our other concepts, to let people know that it's ours.
yeah, that's really interesting. And they also have like the blendery, I think, now,
Yeah,
which is because I used to, I was dating a girl at the time that really loved beer, and so she was like collecting and stuff. Like, so she would
like
collect
the
those,
sour beers.
yeah, the sours and like those special ones that would I get in line early. I was such a sucker, but it was so good because she kept all the beer when we broke up. But it was so rad to see how excited people can get about beer, and there's so much you could do with beer. People,
Yeah,
I don't think they
that's
realize.
what our focus will be here.
That's great.
And but both places need each other. So San Juan Capistrano will actually be shipping proteins here. So
Okay.
our briskets, our our pork butts, and things like that that take longer to cook will be cooked at San Juan Capistrano
Ah,
and shipped down here. And the beer that's produced here will be shipped to San Juan Capistrano.
yeah,
So they both need each other to survive.
and it's not. But what would you say for people? Like, is it like 35 minutes, 40 minutes? Like, if like with traffic, it's
It
longer.
depends
But
on traffic.
yeah,
I can get to SJC in 30 minutes with no traffic, and same vice versa. But you if you drive from San Juan to Oceanside on a Saturday at like 2 or 3 o'clock, it could take you anywhere from an hour to 2 hours to get
yeah,
here.
yeah. I remember
Yeah,
going down too. Like, it would be once you got to even like Del Mar, like going to San Diego. Like, there's areas that just the traffic is dead. It
yeah.
just
There's
stops.
people going to San Diego from Los Angeles, and even
Yeah,
people going to Mexico. So
that's true. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, there's a big uh around Camp Pendleton is where it really starts to back up.
yeah. Do you think you'll be getting military business too?
I hope so.
Yeah, I would think so, right? That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking last night. I'm like, that'd be cool.
yeah, there's a lot of military families down here, and even with San Juan Capistrano, we've always been uh you know really big on offering people like our fire department. They show up, they don't have a lot of time. Sometimes they would even show up and they get a call and they take off. So we take care of our military, police, fire department, any first responders. We've always had that kind of mindset. And so here we definitely want to embrace the culture of Oceanside, which is military. It's a surfer town. I mean, there's still like people still getting brawls on the beach here. You know what I mean?
I
So,
love it.
um, so yeah, so that's why we didn't want to go like super Texas with this place or anything like that, because it just doesn't fit, man.
Yeah.
If I found like a dirt lot where I was gonna put up like a food trailer, picnic benches, and string lights, yeah, all day long. But when I found this building, and it's a funny little story I'll tell you,
Yeah.
and Brenda will back me up on this, is when we first moved here, we drove by this building, and I told Brenda, man, look at that place. That'd be so cool to have a place like that someday.
Ah, well, yeah, you manifested it, or
Yeah,
it was.
something.
But if you dream, yeah, yeah, who knows how any of this is working out. But
Yeah.
is there still housing for military in Oceanside? I thought that was.
They're spread apart. I mean, there's randomly you'll drive through a neighborhood and you'll see a bunch of houses that look like each other.
Yeah, they're all kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you'll see that. And then, Camp Pendleton on base, I mean, there's tons of, I mean, we just had a gal come over here that said that she was living on base. She was looking for a job.
Huh.
But yeah, they're all over. I think in this little pocket, not just Oceanside, but San Clemente and San Juan Capistrano. I mean, because of Pendleton, it's just
Yeah,
there's
it makes sense.
military everywhere.
Is there still a casino somewhere around there?
There is, yeah, there's a casino. I don't
I've never
remember
been
the.
to it. I just remember seeing it on this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah,
it's called Ocean's 11
yeah, 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 yeah.
Casino.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, helping my memory. Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
haven't I
still.
haven't been there because I'm not a big gambler,
Yeah,
but
not
yeah,
that
I've seen it.
that's
Yeah.
hilarious. That's crazy. So what are you looking at for, do you think, for hours? Is it going to be 6 days a week
Oh,
or
yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so 7 days a week
7 days a
actually.
week?
7 days a week, and we're probably shooting for 11 to about 11. So 11
Wow.
to 11. It's going to be interesting to see what we do with the bar, because the bar is going to be the last thing that Speakeasy back there. It's going to be the last thing I work on.
Hmm.
So I'll get the place up and running before I even start touching that. And since it's hidden, any
Like,
construction won't get in the way of
yeah.
what we're doing here. But yeah, yeah, 7 days a week. And that being said, when the brewery's up and running, The other location will open later as well. We're thinking like in the summertime, it might be about 9 o'clock.
Oh wow.
And then in the wintertime, maybe 7 o'clock or something like that. Since it's all outdoors, obviously the temperature affects the business.
Yeah.
If we had indoor there, I mean, we could stay open later too. But that I always consider that place to be kind of a seasonal restaurant. Even though it's funny to say in California, I would never say that to a Texan because they would probably punch me in the face.
Yeah,
They'd be like,
exactly.
"Oh man, that weather is perfect. What are you talking about? 64 degrees. Oh my god, put a
I know,
sweater on."
but people here it's like freezing. They put on
Yeah,
like Ugg boots and they put a huge jacket
exactly.
on, like these crazy. But now is it so? Do you think you'll stay Wednesday through Sunday in San Juan?
No, yeah. Oh, at the other restaurant, I mean, the idea is for us to be open 7 days a week there too.
Oh, there too. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, we're moving away from, there the capacity that we'll have. There's no reason for us to sell
Hmm.
out anymore. We've worked on logistically, working on our food and getting it to where it needs to be, to where it'll be just as great, when we close as what it is when we open. And you can figure that out. That is possible,
Wow.
and so yeah, we want to, obviously the longer we're open, the more money we make.
Yeah, yeah,
The more money we make, the more raises we can give, the more we can grow. So yeah, it just when we're working in a 10,000 square foot building with a big monthly payment,
yeah. You
you
gotta.
have to you have to stay open. And the same thing with SJC. In October, we're starting a full remodel on that place. So
Oh,
uh, yeah, that's a whole other ball game. But yeah, we're putting in. There's a barn that we purchased that's about 3 blocks from the current restaurant.
okay.
It's a historic landmark that they were taking down, and we were able to get there just in time to convince them to take it down and catalog it. And so what we're going to do is build this new infrastructure on site and put the barn. It's a steel barn that's over 100 years old.
Oh,
Put it back together, put all our offsets inside of it, and do a prep room with a cold box, walk-in cold box.
smart.
And so that's going to be our smokehouse there. And I mean, when it's all said and done, that place will look like it's been here for 100 years.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
killer.
so
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be like the West Coast cathedral smoke. You know what I mean?
that
It's a
is
shrine.
awesome.
It'll be a shrine to barbecue for sure.
Oh,
You
well,
know?
so is that so? Then October you're gonna start that, but you're not gonna stop serving
No,
barbecue. It's just
that's
it'll be concurrent with. Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be, especially with this place being open, because we have to move some things around. There'll even be a time where we're going to be working on only the trailer, which is going to be tough. But with the J&R that we're putting in here, and possibly the M&M, I have to figure out if we could fit it in here. We should be okay as far as production goes for food. But yeah, like anything,
So
we're going to figure it out.
when are you? Yeah, exactly. When are you planning on opening this place then?
This place will be open by the end of the year.
Okay. And what will you be serving beer prior to that? Like, well,
No, no. The reason why we're brewing beer is since the system is kind of small, we have to. I mean, the loggers that he does. I mean, like if you're making any lager right, it takes about 6 weeks just to do that.
yeah, that's what I was
And
thinking.
then yeah, and then and then we'll keg it off, and we'll just keep kegging off beers, working our way towards making IPAs because that's the quickest. Um, and then by the time we open, we'll have beers that are, because you really have to back everything up to make sure that you can
That's
keep
true.
going.
Yeah,
Like if
for
you
the
go to a brewery and you see like if they have at least 10 12 beers on and they drop off to only 5, they're probably not doing something right.
hmm
So I'm thankful that I have somebody that knows like, hey, this is what we need to get a good start, to make this possible. Yeah, yeah, we're looking at our longest is going to be January 1 for opening. It might end up being in December. I'm actually not really looking forward to opening up around that time because it's not really a time that anybody really wants to
No,
open.
it's not ideal, but it
But
happens.
I mean, we really have no choice, and I'm hoping with
Yeah.
the initial hype of opening will kind of get us through that first, because it's always like when a restaurant opens, it's always going to be, if it's good, it's something that people want, they'll always be busy in the
Hmm.
beginning, and then hopefully, capturing that audience and making believers out of them, and so they keep coming back. uh but yeah, it's we've already gotten a lot of really cool media.
Yeah, I've
San
noticed that.
Diego Magazine, I mean, Eater San Diego, and like all the big dogs, that are excited to see us come in here. A lot of them don't know that, we're changing up the concept. So hopefully the public is receptive to that, because it will be different. But, uh, but yeah, I mean, it's just another way for us to show off another craft,
Yeah.
which is the beer.
And people are going to ask, are you going to can you get plates there? Can you get brisket on its own there, or will that not be something that you'll
I
offer?
think I think you can. Yeah, I think you might. And for some
You
reason,
got to
if
kind
we
of figure it
see,
out, I guess, play with it.
yeah, I think that if we see that people really want that, I think we might end up doing um, barbecue pop-ups per se here on the weekends, on Saturdays and
Oh, that's a
Sundays.
smart idea.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but it'll just be stuff that we pack up from San Juan and bring it down here, and do it kind of till we sell out, kind of thing. um but yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that people will be stoked on brisket tacos.
It
We're
sounds
working
like a
on this.
perfect, yeah, that's
Yeah, we're working on this tortilla that's like a 50-50 tortilla, with using wheat flour from Tehachapi Grain Project, and doing like this half corn, half flour tortilla, which I really love. It's like a hybrid tortilla.
I don't think they've even had that before.
Yeah, it's really good. And do like, big juicy, fucking slices of brisket on there. And we have Home State going across the street right here.
What?
Yeah, they're like literally right across the street from us. So I initially I was thinking about doing breakfast tacos, and then I found that out, and I
Oh
was like,
shit.
fuck. Yeah,
Wait, have they already opened, or are they gonna open?
no, they actually should be opening around the same time as
Oh, that it's
we
hilarious.
are.
Huh.
Yeah, so they and they're sweethearts. I love them. They're
Yeah,
really
they're good
cool.
people, and they're
Yeah.
doing a good thing. It's just such a funny thing.
Yeah, there's a place right across the street that used to be a since like the 50s, it was a grocery store. And now there's a Home State. There's another place that's coming in from Encinitas called Corner Pizza. There's a bakery that's going in, and Artifacts Brewing Tasting Room, which they're from San Clemente, is where
Yeah,
they're.
why? Okay, I know that name. Okay, huh.
Yeah, yeah. So this
Uh,
little corner, used to be there. There really isn't anything here. I mean, there's a Moose Lodge, and there's like a natural food store across the street. But other than that, it was kind of a dead little corner. So now it'll be like a nice, really cool little pocket for people to hang out in. South O is what they call
yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh, South O.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so funny. Everything is like I was looking up something in Denver, and I think it's Rhino. It was I don't know what it's just. I honestly
yeah. The
don't know.
locals here call Oceanside Oside,
Oh,
and then this part of Oceanside is called South O.
okay. All right. And then there's also too like people, there's lots of lodging in Carlsbad. People can come stay in that area and
Yeah,
be able
so
to.
there's a right next door actually, and I talked to them. They're really cool people. There's it used to be a like a well-known surfer kind of motel that people would stop in and surf here. It's since been redone, and now it's a minimal, I guess you would call it minimalistic hotel, like a boutique hotel.
Oh, cool. I love those. Yeah,
So
those are
yeah, it's
interesting.
like where they send you your code on your phone, and you use that, and there's not really an interaction with any of the staff. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
they
Okay. It's
have
like
like a,
that. Oh,
yeah, they
yeah.
have like a, I think it's like a saltwater barrel. It's like super hipster but really cool. And they got like a little coffee shop there if you're staying there. And I
Oh,
mean,
that's
there's like,
perfect then.
yeah, there's like 1,000 coffee shops in fucking Oceanside, and they all roast their own shit. It's like, it's crazy,
Badass.
man.
That's badass. That is
Yeah,
so killer.
yeah,
This is so exciting. This is Amazing. What's your ideal beer? Like what kind of beers do you drink right now? What are you into?
Well, I'm trying not to drink so much beer right now, actually, but
If you
um,
were like a
yeah, I like lighter beers. I mean, I I like to if I'm gonna have a beer, I would probably want to have like two or three, and I don't want to be wasted when I'm done having those two or three. So I usually reach for like a hoppy pilsner or a hoppy lager, or even just an Italian pilsner, Czech pilsner, um, anything that's light, Mexican lager. I blew my palate out. I don't drink any hazy IPAs anymore. Just those things are just so heavy, and like I said, they're just like hot bombs on your
bomb.
tongue.
Yeah, yeah,
They
definitely.
destroy my stomach, when I'm done drinking one of those. So yeah, here, like I said, we have a Hellas lager that's in the tank right now. We have a Mexican lager. He's brewing a Czech pilsner right now.
That's
And then
smart.
when he comes back from Colorado, he's going to do an Italian pilsner, and then we'll start working on a couple of other West Coast IPAs, pale ales, and those kind of beers that he likes to drink and I like to drink, and that go good with the beer. And then of course we'll have you know a hazy IPA, a hazy double IPA. I mean,
Yeah,
people want that kind of stuff.
yeah.
What's really cool is we're working on this seltzer. With We're going to be getting some grapes from Caruth Cellars, and we're going to do this like it's a blurry lined kind of seltzer where he's going to use champagne yeast and do like this champagne kind of seltzer
Oh, that's rad.
with real grape juice, and that instead of us like trying to flavor with hey, we're going to do like a grape flavored seltzer or a strawberry one or whatever, we're going to do fresh squeezed juice. And so we're going to do fresh squeezed juice in these seltzers and then garnish them, put ice on them. And
Oh,
that'll be like, so we can have different types of seltzers here, but they'll be made with fresh juice to complement them. And it's going to be really good, really
oh.
refreshing. Yeah.
What it like it's sky's the limit creativity wise. Like you can
Yeah.
do so much.
Yeah. And we could use that. And if we want to do mimosas, like,
Mm-hmm.
we use our champagne seltzer versus
Mm-hmm.
like going out and buying champagne.
Mm-hmm. Wow. This is
Yeah.
just like this is astounding. I kind of had an idea of what was going on, but this is really
It's gonna be
fun
cool,
and
and
it's so cool.
it's gonna be so cool. And we're gonna be really creative. All the stuff that we like, and out there, and then put our own spin on it and elevate it. You know,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna blow people's minds. Uh, and man, I'm looking forward to just getting the ball rolling here.
God, you have a lot of balls in the air too. You got a lot of stuff going on, huh? You're a busy guy. Do you want to do a little tour now? Do you want to kind of do?
Yeah, this is the outside patio. Needs a lot of work. I mean, look at the floor for God's sake. That's terrible. That's coming down. That green. It just leaves a really weird light in here. So this is the dining room area here, where I was sitting at talking to you. Come through. This is the speakeasy here. It's kind of really dimly lit, so hopefully you can see it.
Yeah, I can see
But
it.
yeah, so it has like copper.
Oh,
Yeah. So this is a fully functioning bar here, and it's really dark inside this room. You could maybe fit like, I don't know, 20, 30 people. It'd
yeah.
be packed to 30. And then through here is where the brewery is. It's going to be kind of loud in there because
Okay.
they're working right now. But yeah, so that's the brewery there. I'll come back and out of the dining room, and you could see the bar. So this is, like I said, this is where we're going to do all our cocktails, and then all the hard liquor will be that. And this is the entrance. This is a wall that I'm tearing down right now.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, and then so this is the bar here, all the taps. You can see that's
Oh, it
the
opens up
brewery,
to
that big window.
that's cool.
Yeah, this area most likely will end up being where we put more tanks, more fermenters here, when we expand. Hopefully, I mean, if we start selling a lot of beer like we want to. This area will help us expand. And then this is like I'm trying to knock this wall down so that way it can open up this area. Yeah, all these windows, they all roll up and you get that ocean breeze. The ocean's that way. So it just, we get that great onshore flow. And we have these tables that are a little higher. So that's PCH right there. The restrooms through that way. And this is like a little seating area. The lighting's terrible in here, so we're going to change that. It always feels like it's really late. I don't know why.
It makes you always feel like the end of the day.
It makes you feel like it's time to go home. And this is the line. I actually have the guys here today. They're cleaning the line because this place is fucking disgusting, man.
No, that's common. That's pretty common. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, and this is the back area. This is where we're going to be doing all the tortillas back here. Got a big walk-in, and then through the kitchen you can actually get to the brewery as well.
Oh, that's smart.
This is like a dream line. Like this line was set up this size, and then through here there's another entrance for the brewery here. So there's a lot going on. Like I'm in over my head.
in the best way. Well, that's nice too that it came with all that equipment and all that, because imagine having to purchase all that stuff.
Oh, I mean, exactly. So this restaurant has there's like 15 sinks here, and our other location we had one. So
lockers.
Then, locker area, and then got my old truck here.
Oh, that's right.
Drive to work, and then got this container that's just full of shit from doing all the renovations here. I'll take you on the outside.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, you could see there's still a hiring sign up there because these guys were only open for a year.
Oh man, they put a lot of money into that build.
Oh yeah. So this is the parking lot here, and this is our parking lot.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's 50 spaces, and you can see it goes all the way back there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's a rare thing. I mean, it's a rare thing that standalone restaurant with its own parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that other project that's going on across the street, they have zero parking. People will have to park, in a neighborhood, and we have our own parking. It's going to be hard to police, but this is the front of the building here. We're actually going to paint the whole building. I have Brady Clark. I flew him out here, and flew him out here for about 3 days, like before the festival, actually. And him and I walked around and took pictures, and we had some good conversations. And Oceanside's, like, all the remodels that they do here, they usually do them in white buildings or in black buildings. So we found this really cool Calvary blue is what they call. And it's actually the same color of the building for the Golden Rule.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which, Brady has a big piece over there in Georgetown. But so the whole building is going to be painted like this really beautiful blue. And then, everything will be hand painted on the building. And I got some awesome renderings that he's working on right now, actually.
So he's going to be working on the branding and the renderings.
Yeah, he's done with the branding. So now we're just working on the placement of that on the building. And then look, we have an offset that's here right now. You can see it on a trailer.
Nice. Is that a Harper?
Yeah, it is a Harper. So we did a little cook here. And it was last week, and we had 2 neighbors come and complain. So see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, we didn't even want to mess with it. I mean, they're all back here. Those are all homes back there. So we're very close to homes, and we don't want to piss anybody off. And so, yeah, I already knew, like, when I came here, I knew it wasn't going to work, or if we were able to pull it off, just a matter of time before people started complaining about it, and I didn't want to deal with that, you know.
Well, it makes sense to do it that way with the JNR and the M&M possibly, and then bringing it's not that far, and people bring meat to locations all the time.
Yeah,
That's a,
yeah. So and then we're gonna use the JNR to do like turkey breast, things that are quicker, and because like I said, we're gonna have an awesome sandwich program, and when we bring the briskets here, we've been experimenting. I have Chris working for us now. He's kind of like the one that took my place. I don't know if you know Chris from Khalifa's Barbecue.
oh yeah.
He does pop-ups, but I brought him in here, and him and I had been talking over the last 6 months, and I said, hey, I need somebody that can be me there. I need somebody that can jump in and work and do whatever needs to be done, and somebody that can help me logistically figure out how we can pull this off. So we've been experimenting by cooking briskets, like par cooking them, and cooking them wrapped in foil versus paper, and what the carryover is. And we've been doing all these experiments to figure out how we can get our product here and it be just as good as it is there. And doing so, we actually figured out that we could actually make it much better, which was
Really?
odd. Yeah.
Well, that's
So
cool. Hey.
yeah, so the quality won't suffer at all.
Yeah.
If anything, it's going to be better.
That's badass. Are you gonna have sausage at this location too?
Yeah. We're going to have sausage. We have this sandwich called Sonora that we're working on, and that's going to be like a sausage with it's basically like a bacon wrap sausage, and like Sonora dog is like the original,
Yeah.
like TJ or LA dog, whatever you want to call it. But we're gonna have sausages on the menu. It won't be like you can buy like 5 links at a time or anything, but that's the only way we can keep it affordable. It's like we got to be able to use protein, but then use some vessel to serve it. That way
Mhm.
we can make it affordable for people here.
Yeah. That is that is awesome. Well, thank you for sharing so much. Like I think I learned so much that there's so many things I didn't know that I do know now. And
Yeah.
I think people are gonna really dig this because this is definitely eye-opening. I knew it was gonna be awesome just because I know how your brain works, but man, this is
Well, at
just
least
yeah.
we're trying to figure it out.
I'm studying you from afar. Yeah, no, this is badass. I'm so happy for you, Danny. Say hi to Brenda and we'll have a great day.
You too,
Thank
brother.
you so
Take
much.
care.
Take care. Good to see you. Great to see you.
See
Bye.
you. Bye bye.